My mom told me not to talk to strangers on the internet, and I'm glad I didn't listen. We are the Certified Noonas, your sisters in the love of Asian entertainment.
Hi, I'm Amanda.
I'm Jessie.
I'm Natalia.
And I'm Sky.
And though we haven't done it for a little while, it's time for everyone's favorite episode. That's right. It's the What We're Watching episode. It's back, baby. It's back.
It has been a very long time.
It's been a while since we've done... Well, wait, listen. We had a lot of thematic things happening.
That's true.
That we
couldn't.
Yeah. The world's got a lot of thematic things happening right now.
Aliens are here.
Yeah, aliens are real, apparently. Whatever.
Whatever. Too late.
It's like...
Whatever.
Like, why? I don't know why you'd stop here. Like, whatever, you do you.
Can you guys help with the fires? That'd be
like,
great. Thanks.
You know, if you have the technology to get here, like, help us out a little. Like, you know, throw
just let
go.
Know? Like, come on.
Don't just leave us hanging. You know, like, help us. But also, there's a little caveat to what we're watching. It's the first time we've had rules that we've decided to adhere by when selecting things for what we're watching. It's usually a delightful, like, free-for-all where everyone just picks what they're vibing with, right? Mm-hmm. However, we're also real big on socialism here at the Noonas. I don't know if you've picked up on this vibe over the years. And one thing that we're, like, really passionate about are workers' rights and unions and paying people what they deserve for work. Obviously. Mm-hmm. And if you're not, I don't know why you're listening to us.
This might not be the podcast for you.
I don't know why you're watching Korean dramas either.
Yeah.
Because the amount of Korean dramas where just the rich are the villain, innumerable.
Yeah.
Like, they're so, like, yeah. They get it, okay? And so there's the little thing that at this moment in time, if you're listening to this far in the future when this is all ended, you'll be like, wow, I remember that. There's a little strike going on for the actors and the writers in America, specifically. So we have made a decision to not promote any shows that are on American-owned streaming services. So there won't be any shows until for a little while that are on Netflix, Prime, Hulu, Disney Plus,
Max,
HBO Max. HBO. No, I don't think we've ever talked about a drama on HBO Max.
I think once I did, but
there you go. Tubi, we're even Tubi.
Yeah, Tubi,
even Tubi. So we're sticking to platforms that are only Asian only, and also YouTube.
Or that haven't specifically been listed, like, by the strike.
Yeah. So and also sometimes things are on YouTube. I don't know if anyone picked anything that was on YouTube, but we're letting YouTube be acceptable because that's like a whole different monetary situation.
Yeah. It's a bit of a gray area, but we're trying our best, and it is going to affect things because it is a lot of stuff. Like, we are definitely Netflix users here, and a lot of dramas are released on Netflix, so and then, like, Prime and stuff, so it's hard.
So so we've decided to only promo things that are not on those networks until the strike is over, which I know we weren't asked to, but it feels skeevy not to for us. Yeah. So we gotta walk the walk if we're gonna talk the talk. You know what I mean? Like,
exactly.
Mm-hmm. So anyway, that's what's going down. How's everyone's month been? How did you do the drama watching?
Not much.
Not much at all.
I think it's been a bit of a slow month for all of us. It's been real hot though.
Yeah,
oh my gosh.
It's hard to enjoy life when you're sweating.
Hot, and then, like, you Canadians up. Well,
yeah,
you Canadians had some tornadoes.
Yes, some tornadoes.
Yes, indeed.
Listen, it keeps vacillating between tornadoes and forest fires. Like, it just can't make up its mind in Quebec. Let me tell you. It was rainy today, so
we had
getting a little bit.
We were at the trailer last night, and it was like storm warning, and then they're like, and because of the weather we've been having, we can't rule out tornadoes, and so we're like, Okay.
That doesn't even work like that. What?
And so
They're
we're
new
like,
at it, Sky. They're new.
well, and they did. They had like a sort of mini hurricane on one of the other Great Lakes, but not our
Classic
Great Lake.
papers.
So it was like, okay. But yeah, so we were like, about 10 minutes away, there is like a big truck stop that's just a giant, like cinder block. Let's go. It has a nice restaurant. Let's go eat dinner there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Gaze.
Things
Safe
stopped
side.
blowing around, and it was actually fine. It wasn't much of like it was a storm. It was just a storm. But like
Yeah.
after last week, with trees falling down and getting like lifted out of the ground and stuff, you're like, I'm a little nervous. So like, I'll just
Yeah, there's like this huge tree in the backyard of the apartment building next to ours that like half of it is now down, but like no one's removing it. I'm like, the landlord's special.
Yeah.
Classic.
Just like waiting, hoping.
You should have just seen me. If everyone could have been a fly on the wall with like, because I didn't know of Amanda experiencing tornado stuff, because like Amanda was kind of off grid a little bit for that. But when Natalia was going through some tornado stuff,
I was updating them because it was wild. Like my whole street
and my little oaky brain. And I'm used to having resources for that stuff, and
oh no, none here.
And so listeners, it's because it's been like 60 whatever years since a tornado has been up in that area.
And meanwhile, Sky and I are like, every day during the summers.
So
I grew up in Florida.
Like it was a moment in time of like the fact that there just was not much being said, and the warnings that Natalia was getting was like
they were so
crazy.
funny.
It was like
my mind.
A tornado might be there, but it'll probably be raining hard, so you can't see it. So
they kept on,
good luck.
No, what it said
naming the tornado things, and it was like not a normal name.
No,
and I was like, I think
marine tornado.
It was like
there's
a chance of a marine tornado. This was the exact warning. It's like
and they didn't need a water spout. That's what I gathered.
Different thing. So they were like, warning, possible marine tornado. Due to the heavy rainstorm, it will be obscured and you may not be able to see it. Next sentence, if you see it, seek safety. And I'm just like, but you said it was like a ninja. How are we supposed to see it? What are you talking about?
Like Sky and I is trying to give just like, the like bare minimum of like, be in an interior place or the lowest place.
I kept on being like, what?
Yeah. Worst comes to worst, get a mattress, pillows on top of you.
The best part about it was I was all prepared because I'm like, I'm the prepared person. So I'm texting my neighbor downstairs. I'm like, listen, like I've got some bottles of water. I have my 17 light stick, the brightest of the light sticks. I've got fresh batteries in it. I've got all my stuff charged. Like, I even downloaded Kiki's delivery service onto my iPad
for the
kids, in case I had to like get all of I'm like, if there's a tornado, I will knock on all the doors. We'll go to the basement.
Tell you to like Pied Piper.
Yeah, the building. Just follow me, children. But like,
follow the green hand lady.
And I was like, and then we'll go to like the foyer of the basement apartment, and then we'll just like hang out there. Turns out that would have never worked because our entire street was underwater.
Oh yeah.
So like we wouldn't have been it because we would have been underwater. Mm-hmm. So I'm just like, I've never been happier to live on the top floor. Let me tell you, like it was an insane.
Ours was like, my husband's like, boy, it's really dark out. It's gotten so dark so fast. I bet you the street lights come on, and it's like 4:00 in the afternoon. And he's like, yeah, the street lights are on. Kids, come over. And suddenly branches are throwing, and he's like, get in the basement now.
Like, don't come here.
Yeah. It's like, and then we got the warning. We get like little community text warnings and stuff. We're like in the basement, and then we get the warning, like, "Hey, there might be a storm coming." We're like, "Yeah, you think?" Like, okay.
You think? Like, our bed is right next to our balcony door, so it's like a big glass door, and I'm just lying in bed, watching something on my tablet, and it's like it goes from like day to night in like the span of like 10 minutes, and I'm like, ooh. oh, don't like that vibe.
Like, is it orange? Have the birds stop singing?
Yeah.
What's going on around
Like,
you?
well, see, there's like never any birds anyway. The only birds that survive where I am are pigeons, and those bitches ain't singing. Like, you know what I mean? So I'm just like, oh boy. But let me tell you, after it flooded and like the rain stopped and everything, and it was still flooded, the amount of people letting their kids run barefoot in city floodwater, and I'm just like, y'all, that's how you get cholera.
Yeah, it's also how
Like-
you die because you don't know of like a down power line
Yeah.
or something. That's
Yeah.
like one of the major. That's actually one of the main.
That's how a
like,
lot of people die.
Yeah,
from...
injuries, especially like hurricanes. After just people just driving around,
Yeah.
and then trees are still falling because they're going to
Yep.
start breaking even when there's no wind, and power lines are down, and there's
Foolishness.
glass, and just don't
It's like
do that.
I spent a lot of my youth in America, so I'm used to like hurricanes and stuff. And then in the Maritimes, we get hurricanes too because we're right on the ocean, right?
Yeah.
So the ones that come up like over the East Coast, they always end up in the Maritimes. That's where they decide to
they
make
kind
their
of
final stand is like
because
Nova
they do
Scotia.
that thing where they kind of gain a little bit more confidence
just like-
once
they're
it
like,
comes to
"Ah."
you. Yeah.
Yeah. So it's like, so I'm like used to that. Like, I think there was, even during this podcast, there was like a time where I didn't have power for almost a week and a half because of a hurricane that went through Halifax when I lived there. And so I'm just like, I'm like ready for this. Like, because New Jersey gets it where where I used to live in the States was on like the barrier islands in New Jersey. So they get hit by hurricanes too. So I'm like used to all this. And I'm just like, what is wrong with these people? Like, just, that if you can't see the foot of water down to the sidewalk, don't walk in it
Yeah.
if you don't have to. But like, listen,
Nasty.
Montrealers don't care. They don't care. They're like, listen, if it kills me, it kills me. Like,
Whatever.
whatever.
Do
Like,
what I
there's
want.
videos of people biking through like the tornadoes like warnings, and you're like, what are we doing here?
The one thing I will give them is, don't we all have just a little bit of that going on in our head these days?
That's
Like,
true.
Yeah.
we've seen things. We
Yeah.
have
Yeah.
now seen things.
Like, and the infrastructure in Montreal is so bad that it's just like people are just like, whatever. So the wind knocks over like the facade of a building and crushes me to death. It does that on non-windy
Whatever.
days too. Like, what do you want from me? Like, oh, it formed a sinkhole. Like, that happened last week too. What do you want? Like, it's just like nobody cares. It's wild. But all of this time has been very distracting from my usual drama watching. So I've only completed in July 8 dramas, which like
Whoa.
that's a shocking number.
That's
a
like a
shockingly low
Well,
number for you.
small number for you.
and
I
then
know.
like how
That's
many of those are like kind of the smaller, like the shorter dramas?
That's
Some
like
of
a
them are
really
sometimes shorter.
Good question. I know that one was at least one. Let me just.
We're not.
Because as far as time investment, you usually have a few that's like, they're like
Yeah.
almost nothing.
Yeah.
Okay, in my
They were
defense, 2 of them.
Bars.
Okay, one was Happy Merry Ending, which was 8 15-minute episodes. So that's like nothing.
Yeah.
And other than that, I'm looking at the amounts. We got 24, 22, 12. So like normal length sort of shows. But there was one other caveat in that this one show that I know, I think, 25, 10, 32. So there was a 32 episode one that I did watch in July. Like, then there was Love Tractor was June, never mind. But a 8 episode J drama that I started watching in February, and I believe Jessie and Amanda may have also started watching, finally dropped its 8th episode.
I haven't checked that. Oh,
It did.
Yeah, it did. So I did. So I feel like that was like
Well,
one.
You can't say it because it's my drama.
Yeah, it's your drama. I'm not going to say it, but I did finish the one episode that I've been waiting for like 3 months to finish. So that technically counts as one of the dramas, and it was a single episode. But
Like a single 20-minute.
the single 20-minute episode.
But it's
still
done.
counts.
It still
It
counts.
still counts. But anyway, Sky, I believe you're up first with your first pick.
Okay. So, I didn't watch all that much this month, but I since it is my birthday month, I am going to talk about my birthday movie pick a little bit that we did for our Patreon Found Family folks, but also just kind of that whole spiel because it's all connected for me. So I'm going to talk about Library Wars, and if you haven't heard about it, you're going to learn some. So Library Wars is actually something that I picked up probably a couple years before I started watching a lot of Asian dramas back in the day. So that was me starting to watch more Asian dramas was like 2018. So like probably back 2016-ish is when I ran across the manga at my library of Library Wars. And so I tore through those really quick. It's still at my library, so that's very nice of them to still have it. And so then I didn't know anything of the ways of how to watch manga. I did know of Crunchyroll back then, but I also knew that there were places to find things, but since I was unlearned in that, I went on Yes Asia and I ordered the physical copies of all of the Library Wars stuff. So I first ordered the anime.
That's true fan. True fan right there.
I might have just bought it all. I don't remember if I bought the anime and the 2 live action movies all at the same time. I was serious about what I was into. So then I remember I did watch the anime first. Love the anime to pieces. I think that the art in the anime is super cute. It's funny. It is goobery as heck. I will get to the plot here in a second. And so then I watched the live action. There's 2 live action movies that kind of tell 2 main arcs of the overall story of this. I think it originated as novels, which there are some fan translations online for. But as far as where a lot of people get the, like, if you're reading it, you usually just go read the manga at this point. So the story of Library Wars is pretty much, it's set in an alternate time in Japan where essentially there's media censorship and it's bad news bears with that, and there was violence that kind of caused the libraries, in order to fight the censorship, they made their own defense forces to protect the rights of people to, and when I say censorship, it was for it kind of like across the board stuff. It wasn't just one type of censorship. It was kind of like all of it. Even just like history books and stuff. So, I mean, it was just, so, as far as the plot, you have the main female character, Aiku Kazuhara, and she is a plucky, tall, track-running tomboy type, and she is really, really funny. And she doesn't really have a thought in her little brain, except for she's just really good at, like, physical activity type stuff. So she, of course, wants to be a part of this defense force thing. And she ends up getting an instructor who is shorter than her, and he is a jerk face, because of course he is, because that's drill instructors for you.
Well, yes.
Of course, enemies to lovers,
And he's also, he's very chill, he's very decisive, like, seems like the opposite of her. Like, that's what it seems like. Come to find out, when he started, he was just like her, like in the Force stuff. So, like,
classic.
You have a lot of shenanigans. I'm not going to get into all of it. So I had everyone, like our Patreon folks and the ladies here, watch Library Wars with me. It was kind of funny because the anime, it does have battles, but the battles are pretty short. Like, that is not the main point of the anime, really. Like, you have a battle, but then you kind of move on, right? The movie is like battle heavy. Like, that is what was happening.
They got some guns and they wanted to use them, but like all budget went to that.
So it was pretty funny. I thought that, like, because the manga and the anime, it is like, if you had to describe it, it really is enemies to lovers romance, just with the setting of this, like, fighting censorship military force situation. It's just really cute. So the movie, it just kind of cracked me up how it ended, like, really kind of open-ended. It wasn't even like, oh, they're dating now. It's like, wow. I had forgotten that the first movie just, like, it covers 3 episodes of the anime. That's all. Like there's there's
it's
lots they
definitely
could
set up
have
for
easily
series,
grabbed. Yeah. So it's fine. There's some weird little changes that I won't get into, but a lot of it is word for word. So like watching the movie then made me go back and be like, okay, I really want to watch the anime. I of course, I just explained. I physically have a DVD of the anime, but I wanted to watch it while I was on the treadmill. So I was like, is there, sure enough, there's an app, and it's also on browser, whatever you want to watch. Retro Crush. If you're looking for some, I'm not saying that all older anime is on there. That is not true. But there's some older anime on there. So, and some really notable ones that I haven't watched yet, but like there's some really popular stuff on there. Some of them are, it kind of looks like you might have to have a subscription to watch some of them. But as far as Library Wars, it's for free. You better be prepared to watch a good 5-6 commercials every 10 minutes.
Yeah.
So that's a thing. But, hey, free. Like,
Sure.
I was being lazy and not wanting to use my DVD. That's on me. So, like, it's fine. But I really enjoyed it. I actually really recommend Library Wars for anyone that likes the silly enemies to lovers type stuff. It's silly, so it's a really good
fun
time.
movie. I had a good time with it.
It was fun to watch.
Yeah, it was fine. Yeah, it was fun. Yeah, it was a good group watch. I think.
And very, for being an older story, very timely subject matter.
Yes.
For us all right now.
Right. Like
you're describing it, and you're like, and they were censoring everything, and you're like, oh, so like now,
You're like, weird.
weird.
It's almost like
Awkward. Yeah.
art imitates life in some way.
Almost.
Yeah.
Strange.
So yeah, that was my thing. If anyone is ever curious about more Library Wars stuff, hit me up. I always love talking.
You're like, listen, I passionately want to talk about Library Wars. I'm like,
Come on, I need my
I'm talking about Library Wars. Like,
Because also, like, even just anime side of stuff, it's not one that really comes up very often.
yeah.
Like, I of course would have just stumbled across it. I came through manga side in order to even find it. And actually, that is what made me then, watching Library Wars is then what made me, I checked out, at the time, I got on one of the platforms that shall not be named at the moment, but like, I checked out a lot of anime there. Like, I watched a lot of anime for a while during that time period, and it all started with Library Wars. So it was kind of, that got my foot in the door of like, learning that type of thing, since I didn't start younger like Jessie and Natalia did. Like, I kind of started checking all that out, just back in 2016-ish. So, yeah. That Library Wars, it's a thing. It's kind of like, there are kind of 2 main enemies to lovers stories that like kind of just got me into things. Jane Austen's Pride and Prejudice, that was the thing back when I was younger, like middle school. That was a big deal for me. Then there was Library Wars. It was like, oh yeah,
Wait a second.
so like anime can kind of tell that type of story. Oh, then like they have live action of that. That's a thing. And then later it's like, oh, there's dramas. Like that's okay. So like I kind of slowly put that together. Yeah. So it's where it all began for me, kind of, with the exception of the Lake House one-off thing that I watched like way back before.
Sky's taking us back to her
origin story.
Yeah,
it's my birthday month. I get to blast a little bit.
her villain origin story.
Yeah.
So how about you, Amanda?
I am taking it to Thailand. I started watching. We had mentioned it a few months ago in what was coming up. It's called To the Moon and Back, or it's based off of a book called Natalia, which is the name of the main female character. The premise, I remember us talking about, we were like, wait, what? Because it's like, she meets this doctor when she sees him putting bloody body parts in a garbage can, but it turns out it's a cake that he made that looks like a baby or something. Like, but it's so cute, like, and it's so, I don't know how to describe it, but like for a Thai drama, it's a rom-com, but it's just a very solid rom-com. Like, it doesn't have that over the top goofiness that you sometimes get with the teen dramas, And it doesn't have the like super over the top licorne craziness. It's just a rom-com, and it's really, really nice. She's just a delight. Madaletta is this delightful woman. She's 30 years old. She's an illustrator and an artist, and she talks her family into like, I want to move to Bangkok to be in the big city. It'll be better for my career and stuff. They all know she's lying because she can do everything online, but they will, okay, it's fine. Move, your aunt is going with you. She's helped raise you all your life. She's gonna move with you. Her dad can't move with her because her dad is a drag queen who runs this very popular, successful drag club. And so she's basically been raised by a bunch of drag queens. And the reason she wants to move back to Bangkok is because that's where her dad grew up. His parents are there. And 25 years ago, when her father decided that he had to be true to himself, he divorced his wife and came out as gay, and his father beat the crap out of him and disowned him and said, I don't have a son anymore. And she's like, yeah, you know what? I'm 30. I'm going to go meet my grandparents, and we're going to get this sorted out because this is nonsense. My dad is sad, and I see this sadness in him, and we're going to fix that. And she's just such a ray of sunshine that, like, she's fixing it. Like
one of those you can't help but love her type.
Like, it's so cute. Her grandparents run this like gold sale store, and they have a cop who sits in the front door as a guard, and like the grandfather will be like, get her out of here, kick her out, and then she'll like smile at the guy, and he's like, I don't know, man, she's your granddaughter, like what am I gonna do? Like it's just super cute.
I'm gonna kick out this sweet little girl. She'd be a really sweet girl. I'm gonna kick out this little girl. I don't know, man.
Like, and then the male lead is a doctor. He's a surgeon. He had a terrible upbringing. His father is an absolute piece of work and just has treated him like garbage his whole life. There's some story there, I'm sure, but I'm a little bit behind, so I don't know what it is, but he's just like, and this guy, you almost feel like watching it like maybe the actor's not very good, but it's just that he's had the emotions sort of beaten down so much that he just is very even-keeled all the time, because if you show emotion, then it's like, why are you being so emotional, right? So he's just, and then he meets this ball of sunshine girl, and he's like, I don't know what to do with this person because she's just so delightful. And at the point that I'm at right now, they are just friends. They're very good friends. They're doing stuff together all the time. He's teaching her how to bake cakes, and she took him to the like big drag show for her dad's birthday and stuff. And because this is kind of her litmus test, like for people, if they get, grossed out by the fact that her dad is a drag queen, then like, I don't need you in my life. And he's just like, no, this is great. You're great. Everybody's great. Look at how your family loves you. I love this. Like, I love that your family loves you. And I don't care if your family's not normal. It's great because I have a normal family and they're terrible to me. So like,
they suck.
I'm really into this, and it's just so good. And like the dad who's playing the father, the actor there is so good. Like he's so good in this role. It's stunning. Like he cries so frequently because he's just suffered, right? And
emotional.
But like it's really good crying. Like sometimes it's a scene like on his birthday, she goes to see Grandma, and Grandma is baking his favorite food because it's her son's birthday, even if she can't be with him. She's still, and Madaletta brings him the little cake, and he sees it, and his lip just starts quivering, and you're like, how do you fake that? Like, that's really impressive to watch. So,
talent.
like, it's so good.
You quote the Patrick Stewart. acting.
Exactly. And like, I think this man has tears in his eyes every other episode, or is full out crying, and it's a different cry every time. Like, it's not that same weird song. Like, it's very impressive, and it's just really, like, it's just a really, really great show. Like, I'm enjoying it so much. And
So, how far along are you?
I'm 7 episodes in, something like that. So,
and how many does it have?
I want to say it's 18. It's not finished airing yet. So,
Oh,
okay.
I think it's on 10 or 11 right now. Maybe farther than that. But yeah, it is a really good. It's just a really good show. Really, really lovely. And I'm just really enjoying their sunshine, and not even grumpy, but just like sunshine and dude like dynamic. And it's just
dude with a sad family past.
I mean, like, we're talking about, he used to sit at the bottom of the pool with like his goggles and stuff on, so that he didn't have to hear his dad talk and stuff. And he'll still do it now to like get his anxiety attacks. Like,
what I love about that plot point is that's not the first show I've seen that in as a way to show that this guy has a fucked up family. It's like, nah, he goes to the bottom of the pool and just hangs out at the bottom of the pool.
Right? Yeah. So, yeah. Madalada. Love it.
Nice.
I would like to be able to read the book, but I have not been able to find a translation. So. How about you, Jessie?
Well.
Well.
What's in the making?
It really has. I have not been watching a lot of dramas, like especially not ones that I could talk about right now. And also another thing just came out recently that's also on a thing that I can't talk about, not Asian dramas, so I can't talk about that. So it's slim pickings for me. I'm sorry. I've also been kind of like busy and doing other things, so I haven't actually been fully on like downtime to do stuff. So it's
that's fine.
Whatever. But this little J drama, I like looked it up. The first episode was available February 12th. And I know for a fact that like I was within the first couple of days that it was.
I think you and I started it at almost the same time.
Yeah, because I do remember very clearly there is a What We're Watching that I talked about it. It was the brief in the 5-minute thing. So maybe someone can find it in the March.
I think I talked about it in
one. It might even be the February episode. Yeah,
it might even be the February, whatever it is. Yeah, so like I started like full on like from the beginning, and then it just took its time, its sweet time. That's okay. It's okay. You know.
We're getting what we paid for.
We're getting what we paid for it. And it's called Zen Ryoko de Ashiete Li Kana. I don't know the English title because I'm on MDL's app and it doesn't say the English title.
I know the English title.
Okay.
It's Will You Let Me Love You With All of My Heart.
Oh, yeah.
Which is a very apt title for this drama. It's a very, very small drama. And I think I even mentioned this when I was talking about it at that other episode. It's in that Nei Sensei there's this group of J dramas that are very small, they're very female based, they're very first time or very sweet male partners.
Yes, the men in them have drunk nothing but respect women juice.
Yes, and it's just very sweet and kind. It is not the greatest drama in the world, but it was fine to watch over the past however many months. And they're 20-minute episodes.
Yeah,
and essentially what it is this girl who meets this guy who we find out is this rich guy who owns a business, and he's trying to find someone to be his partner, and he's just down on his luck, and he's not finding anybody because he's finding people who find him boring or is really just there for his money, and that's not what he wants. And he stumbles upon this girl, and we see later how they're connected, which I guess is a spoiler, so I won't say it because also this show is so short. I can't give you away the biggest points. Yeah. But they end up going on a trial kind of relationship with each other, and it's just kind of what happens during that relationship. And she has a past too. things that have happened, and it's just like very sweet and kind, like very low stakes, even though there is, I would say, like, I guess a trigger warning because of sexual assault, but like you don't really see it, but it is a plot point,
and not him doing it.
No.
We need
No.
sometimes J dramas
they like throw you off.
Yeah, but
not in the respect woman juice.
No, he's a
universe.
good dude. He's a good dude. Yeah,
he's a good dude. He's a dork. He's
kind of a loser, but like in the best way.
Yeah.
Like,
they do work because like she's nice and sweet, but she is kind of also that kind of like, you know, they're made for each other, really.
Yeah.
You know, they kind of work out, and you know there is some like fun little quirky side characters, and there's a lot of like, you know, mishaps on like interpreting things, and they always interpret each other wrong, and then, you know, it's like done in like a just inside their head, they interpret the thing wrong, and it like resolves within 30 seconds. It's very low stakes drama. But it finally the last episode aired like literally like this past weekend or something, and I was like, I can finally take this off of my list, and it's like very exciting because I'd just done so little stuff that it was like, look at me, like I actually watched a full drama. Click to complete.
Completed.
It's cheating, but not cheating.
It's not cheating.
Know?
It's not cheating.
It's cheating in my head to think that like I completed a drama when only I completed 20 minutes of an episode that like it's been like
a bazillion years
ago.
Yeah.
This is the last one.
You did watch all the other episodes.
I did.
Just
I
over
fully
a long
watched
period of time.
all of them. It was a labor of love, I guess. I mean, I didn't really love the show, but it was fine.
I'm gonna be honest. When I was watching it, I would kind of like forget what happened. So every time a new episode would drop, like once a month. By drop we mean get translated in a location. I would go back and watch all the previous episodes. I'm like, okay, what led up to this again? And they were so short that this was a possible thing you could do.
Yeah, that's what happened. I'd start off somewhere and I'm like, wait a minute, who's that guy? Oh yeah, that's right. Right. I do wish like we had a little bit more time because I think like the people at our work were like cute and quirky enough that I wanted more from them, and we ended up getting more with his like friend group because his friend group was like just gay guys who were steering him in the wrong direction. Not
every time. No,
they just didn't know what straight couples do.
That's so funny.
It's the most well-meaning of ways.
Yeah. They're all just like not good at love. It was all
and I love how proud of themselves these three men would be. Like, this time you're gonna do it right. Yeah. Good job. And then it would like go to her and be like, I don't understand why he's acting this way. Like, what did I do?
But they were very sweet. They were very like, you could tell that they were very like, we do not want our friend to get hurt again. And we keep on seeing him get hurt, and we're kind of desperate for him to find his happiness too. So there were some sweet moments in that.
Did they say like where they were getting their information that was so incorrect, or they were just
no? But it was probably like if you thought about it, it was probably a 17 magazine. You know, like
the
he just
information
had no clue. Like it was just like no clue about like.
But it was like very sweet and well-meaning.
Yeah.
Like it was just like it was them like thinking like, no, this is how you respect women.
Yeah, it's like this is how you get a girl, and they're like,
this is how you show
don't want to get girls, you know? Like,
like this is how you show a woman you love her, and then it's just like,
she didn't really have a lot of people too. Like, she had her work people and stuff, so she didn't have that like.
But like in the first
other side,
episode,
really, but...
I think it was, they show him like how he is very close with his mom and his sister and his niece, and you're like. These, go ask them.
But you know what? It actually does make sense because it also shows them mocking him mercilessly for having no riz.
Yeah.
So like that makes sense why he would not go to them for any advice, because they'd be like, I don't care what advice we give you, you ain't getting laid. But
it literally is a drama of two dorks like coming together and like just forming a sweet relationship and being awkward together, and like despite everything they're just being very sweet, and like it's kind of like they at least found their person.
That reminds me of other dramas that Natalia has brought up before, where she talks about like awkward turtle.
Yeah, the
like,
two turtles mating, where it's like cute but awkward, and you're just like, come on,
come on. We were making that for our J drama chart. Maybe that's our next live, but like,
So the J drama universes that we discuss, like where we just kind of group a lot of the dramas that we've watched, and very like. There's the Coffee and Vanilla universe, which is its own thing that we have done. We did one live stream. So it's kind of like the Unhinged, what is going on with this main dude character? That's usually what the question is. What is going on? And then it sounds like there's kind of this other universe that is more like the Nay Sensei.
The
Riko-san wants to try.
I mean, it's a very like, there must be some like actual like genre name for it now, because it's very like specific. Intentionally this, like, it's not just like a romance drama or like a new, like a, what's the, it's not YA, but in between
young
YA
adult.
And young adult or like
new adult, like
I mean, she's older, she's like in her 30s and I think he's like in his 40s, but like there's just like, it's a very like actually specific genre, because it's a very like based on these kind of like,
it's almost like naive adult, like
so like if you like those other dramas, you'll probably like this. It's also just so short that it's just kind
it's
of
only 8 episodes,
and now you don't have to like sit here and watch it over 4 months,
6 months.
It
started in February, it's the end of July now.
That's dedication on our part.
We kept going. I would go back every week. I would go back to see if another one had dropped. I'm like, listen, I gotta finish this. I will say, don't watch it around younger people.
Oh yeah, it is.
There is some sexual content with it.
But
not like explicitly. Like,
no,
it's not titties flying everywhere. Don't worry. It's just like it's very clear what they have just done. You know, like they're lying with the blankets up to their necks, and you can see a bare shoulder type situation. Like, but good times. Yeah.
What about you, Natalia?
Well, it was a slow month, but I still watched some stuff. The first thing I picked up was a C drama. Wasn't the first thing I picked up, but the first thing I want to talk about that I picked up was the C drama, and it was a remake of a K drama. And that's the C drama Love in a Loop, which was a remake of
Feels Good to Die.
Now, you're asking, Natalia, why would you bother watching a remake? And the reason is because the main actor on Feel Good to Die is a fucking nonce, okay? So we don't want to deal with sex pests.
Yeah, good drama that I can never talk about.
Right, exactly. But don't worry, China has provided a solution to us here. Now, it's not like a shot-for-shot remake. Like, there are many differences. For one, it's much longer. Like, I think it was, the original was 16 episodes. This was 24 episodes. So it's longer. But it's a little goofier, I would say, sort of in that, like, how Chinese shows can be a little, like, sillier than Korean shows.
Mm-hmm.
But it was fun to watch, and I genuinely enjoyed it. For anyone who's never heard of either of these, and would like to know what it's about, I'm gonna tell you. So basically, there's this woman, and she's basically the second in command in her, like, marketing department for company. It doesn't really, like,
business items.
Like food related. This one was like food related.
Yeah.
So, just like they have like a grocery chain, but they're like doing like marketing for other things too. Whatever. And her boss sucks. So, like, the head of the department, he's rude. He doesn't take into account anyone's feelings. Everyone hates him. They have, like, a mean little nickname. They're all in a group chat being like, fuck this guy. I hope this guy dies. I hope he goes to hell. This guy sucks. So anyway, they go to, like, this is all in, like, the first episode. Trust me when I tell you, what I'm about to tell you is not a spoiler. This is the plot of the show. They go to, like, this, like, you know, team dinner, and he gets really, really drunk. And then she's in charge of, like, sending him home. but then he gets hit by the white truck of doom and dies.
Of course.
And she witnesses it, and she's like, oh no. And then suddenly she wakes up, and it's the same day again. And then she's like, what is happening? But then she slowly discovers that she cannot stop this from happening by normal means. So she keeps trying to stop this death from happening, but it keeps going. She finally gets through that one day. The first day, she finally gets through it.
How many episodes did it take, you think? Like
2 to 3, I'd say. Like, just 2. It wasn't like
Not
they did
too
it really
many.
quickly.
Okay.
Until she discovers that anytime someone tells him to go to hell, he then dies and her day restarts again. So she has to go on a mission to give him a new personality that won't make everyone hate him, so people stop wishing him to die. He was actually very delightful in this. Like, he was really playing up, but like, it wasn't, he was mean, but it wasn't like so mean that you're like, this man would have been fired from his position. Like, he was just rude, and he would always like never compliment anyone, but like, he wasn't like calling people fat and ugly, you know what I mean? Like, he was just being like, this is how you fucked up your job, like, are you ashamed of yourself for not working hard enough, like, blah blah blah. It was all job related, and you can tell that he actually had like good relationships with some people. Like, in it's been a long time since I watched the Korean original, so I don't really remember everything about it, but like, he has like a really good relationship with like his younger brother, who's like a playboy in this one, who like is really good with people and everyone likes him, so it's like, you know, the two opposites, and is like trying to matchmake him with, you know, the main girl and stuff. And then he has like a good relationship with like the woman who owns the company, who like he like seems to genuinely care about the company doing well and stuff. And there's also, of course, the second male lead, as all these shows have, where they introduce a second male lead. They're like, good luck, buddy.
Oh, sucks for you, I guess.
That's a shame. That's a shame for you, who's like this very nice painter who has a shitty mom. Like, it's, you know, your classic. And then she's very delightful. Like, the main actress, Zhang Yaqian, who I saw in another one where she played a cartoonist earlier this year, I think. But anyway, she was really sweet and delightful, and like played like a genuinely kind person, you know what I mean? And it was just like, so it made sense that like, even though she starts out hating him, she very quickly is like, this isn't an unredeemable person. Like, this person has the potential to be a good, nice, kind person. And meanwhile, he's like, you're a bit of a pushover. Maybe you should be less of a good, kind person. Synergy. It was fun. I liked it.
It's a very unique, like, I remember when I watched the Korean original, after the fact, I was like, wait, there's a little bit of the Christmas Carol going on with this. Like, as far as having to redeem him. But, like, it's more enjoyable than it sounds. I want to say that. And it is definitely one of those dramas, like, what would hell actually be? Reliving day after day and having to
Groundhog
fix a dude. Like, that would be the worst thing.
And then, of course, there's also, like, an element of mystery to it.
Right. But, like, they actually... The script and stuff is much more enjoyable than this.
Yeah.
Like, it's funny. Like, there's a lot of... How he always dies is always like kind of comical. Like, what the heck?
Always,
how
like,
did he die like that?
Top.
Like,
for example, someone will tell him to go to hell, and then like there'll be like a fluorescent bulb will like fall from the ceiling, bounce off, and then like impale his back, and you're like, come on. And
you just see her like try, like she's just trying so hard, and like no matter what she does, she cannot make it. It's kind of almost that little joke that keeps happening in various ways. It's very Final Destination like.
Yeah.
What weird way is he gonna die next? You never know, because it's like,
and then like eventually, like they start like using it on purpose. Like if they need to fix something,
she's like, okay, let's just start.
If she's not around, he'll be like, "Tell me to go to hell," to like a random person walking by, and they'll be like, "Jesus, like I don't even know you, man." Like, he's like, "No, please."
He's like that.
Like it's delightful.
Like that Tom Cruise movie where he can,
Oh,
you
yeah,
know?
the
And so,
Day
like,
after
he,
tomorrow.
like,
or
breaks
whatever.
his leg and she shoots him in the head. And he's like, no, you'll be fine. And she's like, no. Bam, you're gone. And, like, we have to restart.
I have a really big soft spot for, like, those types of shows.
Yeah.
I like Groundhog Day trope.
Mhm.
Like, I think it's fun because the variety of ways it can be used in a variety of genres. So, like, this is its only unique genre because it is very office drama. Like, that's really what it is.
Like, this one was very much goofier and very much more C-drama than the original. If you watch C-drama, like C-drama rom-coms, you know exactly what I mean when I say it was very much C-drama. But it was really fun. It was on iQIYI, and I really enjoyed it. And I think it might even not require subs. It might be one of, like, their free ones that they have. But don't quote me on that. Don't quote me on that. But yeah, it was really fun. The cast was really nice. I enjoyed it. I genuinely enjoyed it, and it would be like I would be watching it, and then I'd have to, like, get up and do something. I'd be like, I want to go back. So it's like if I actually genuinely am like, I don't want to do life stuff. I just want to keep watching my drama. Then that means I enjoyed it. But yeah, so if you liked the original and were like, damn, can't watch that again because another straight male fucked up. Have I got good news? It was fun in a different way. So
yeah.
Anyway, that's that. Sky, is there something else you've been watching?
Yeah, I think I'm going to revisit drama that I actually did discuss on our Noonas romance thing, but I'm going to be coming at a different tactic because, like, I was trying to emphasize the Noonas romance angle of that show, so I'm going to talk a little bit about Why Her, because Why Her is. I also pretty much watched it twice. Like, I have watched it twice. So the story behind that was pretty much I had recorded on my drama list that I had gotten to episode 11 of this thriller drama where there is a lot to remember, okay? Then, as far as I was really into it, but I had recorded, I had gotten to episode 11. Then I had to watch The Untamed. So I had to dedicate my life unto The Untamed for a while. So then, by the time it was, I want to finish this before our Noonas romance episode, I was like, I have forgotten so much of this that I have to revisit everything. So then I got to episode 11 again, and I was like, I've seen this. I got to episode 12. I've seen this. I got to episode 14, and I only had probably an episode and a half left of this. If I had just made time within a couple weeks of it, I should have just made time to finish. Anyway, don't do that. Don't be me. If it's a thriller drama that you might forget all of the ins and outs of all the awful stuff, the bad dudes are. If it's a web of stuff, just make time to finish the thing. Don't put that off because you're not going to remember all the bad things they did. Because if you can go back to this show and just finish it, but you're not going to get the gravity of. You're just going to remember these are bad dudes, and they review some things, but they don't review like all of it. Anyway, so Why Her? It's primarily like it really is about the main gal who is played by. I needed to pull that up. I still had my last Library Wars up there.
What's her name?
So Hyun Jin, who is always marvelous no matter what she does. Like, I stand. I need to watch more of her stuff. That should be my next project. She plays Oh Soo Jae, who is pretty much just a really powerful, really like no nonsense lawyer who brings in the big bucks, is climbing up the ladder of her company, her law firm. It's all a thing. Shenanigans happen. When I say shenanigans, not happy shenanigans.
Not the good kind.
Corruption shenanigans happen. And she ends up having to teach at the law school where kind of the bottom rung law students, like, she has to, like, kind of take them under her wing. It's all a thing. It's very cute. The aspect of that, she kind of unthaws being around them. It's not just the love interest that unthaws her. It is also being around these law students a little bit. But she kind of slowly refines herself because she has lost a lot of herself in trying to become the person that can be in this world, because it is a very horrific, awful, not just corrupt, but like it has eaten away essentially at her soul, and then she forgot this is crappy. This isn't necessarily how everyone else lives. Like, not everyone else lives fearing for, not really to die, because early on it's not that. It's every day striving to knock the other guy down in order to climb on his body, you know, like to get up the ladder in order to, because she's sacrificed so much this far, that is her goal, to rule over everybody, essentially. Well, come to find out later on, why does she want to do that? Revenge!
Of course!
Like, always.
Revenge. So, I always like revenge stuff, so, like, that was fun. There's a lot of... The bad dudes get a lot of scenes. I'm straight up telling you that. That's a thing, and there's the guy that we hate.
There is also the actual
of,
bad guy. Like, not just in a drama. Yeah.
So, honestly, though, anytime you see him, if you fast forwarded, it would make zero difference for your life. Like,
just like
because
omit his part.
Because there's kind of 3 bad guys, but the main bad guy is not him, luckily. So, like, and that main bad guy is always the one recapping and kind of, he's the one moving all the chess pieces, ultimately. So, like, he's gonna explain and they always have all these flashbacks of business. So, like, you could really skip the dude that we all hate and still get a decent thing. Whereas, like, Hyena, if you skipped, you would be missing plot points, which would suck. So, like, but here you could actually be like, oh, he's on the screen, gone. Like, you could just, every single time. Because I was paying attention my second watch. I'm like, if you phased him out completely, what would we get? A pretty solid drama. You could probably do that. But I really, really enjoyed it. I think there were a lot of twists and turns, honestly. Could I guess maybe a couple? Maybe. But, like, they were very, very well done. And she's just brilliant. Like,
she's really good.
She's so good.
She's incredible.
I want to say she's made for that role, but I've seen her in a lot of other roles that I feel like she's great in Beauty Inside. She knocks that out. Like, she rocks anything she touches. So, like, she's great. The love aspect is very nice, but it's kind of a small portion of what's really going on there. So as far as, like, if you're really picking up the drama to watch Hwang In-yup, he's a small part. Like,
if you're doing that, get it together.
There's a couple of episodes in the middle where, like, they kind of get more of the cutesy scenes, and then it kind of is like, well, let's put a bookmark in that.
We also have to go do this stuff right now.
We have to go take care of the bad guys, like, and that takes the rest of the show. Yeah. So, like,
fair enough.
And then you have to, like, a little bow at the end. So, like, it's right. But I really, really enjoyed it. You know, caveat of the awful dude being in it. So there's that. But she's amazing. Like, I think it's on Viki. Is that where I watched it? Yeah.
Yeah, that's where I started watching it, yeah.
Oh, it also has Bae In-hyuk in it, in case, like, he's been in some things that you would recognize him from. And
that's the girl from 4 Minute in it, if you're a 4 Minute person.
There's a lot of people.
She's one
a lot of people you'll be like, oh, I recognize. And then there's also Lee Jin-hyuk, as far as if you're looking for an idol. So you get your idol.
You get a little bit of everything in that one.
You get your idol. And then you have Bae Hae-sun, which she is. I think I saw Natalia talking about this. She's a character actress who is good at being bad. She is. Yeah. She's so good at that. And then you have Ji Sung-hyun, which he's in it, and he was in Search WWW as the director, husband, person. So, like, just everyone's great except for the dude we hate. We don't talk about him anymore. So if you like thriller stuff, and if you can handle, are we really in the courtroom all that much? Some, but not near as much as a lot of other lawyer dramas. It is a lawyer drama, but you're usually actually in the law firm rather than always in the courtroom.
Yeah, it's kind of more like
boots to the ground and then law firm.
It's her job, but like it's about this other stuff. but also kind of tied to her job, but like not really. So like you don't have like boring law stuff that happens in some law dramas, you know, courtroom boringness.
And I will say, when I say it's corruption, it's specifically just rich guy corruption that funnels down into other aspects of governmental type corruption. Because to me, they're specific. So like versus like Lawless Lawyer is very like gangster governmental corruption. So like you kind of get more fight with that. That's not really what this does. This is more behind the scenes. We don't get our hands dirty. We send someone to do it for us. Like that type of corruption.
Classic.
The classy corruption. So, I really enjoyed it. I recommend it for people who would dig that type of thing.
Cool.
How about you, Amanda?
I have started watching one. I actually just started it this week, and kind of like Natalia said, like I just want to keep watching it all the time. It's just really cute and silly. It's a C-drama. Actually, I'll be kind of surprised if Natalia's not already watching it or hasn't already watched it. It's called To Ship Someone, and it has...
I have seen it. Yeah.
So the premise is the girl she works for a company that produces television shows, and she's charged with finding something new. She's currently reading this web novel that she loves, and she's like, this would make a great series. It's all about love. It would make a great rom-com. And so she talks to the writer. She's trying to get the writer on board, but he's like, no, they always change stuff, and I don't want my stories changing. She's like, I swear we won't change your stuff. And then like basically that night he writes in a new female lead for the male character, and she's like, what is going on? Because this is my ship. You can't break my ship. So she writes some fan fiction where like they figure it out, and it's like, no, you can't like date this guy because he's got a girlfriend, and it all gets sorted out. And then she like wakes up and she's in the fan fiction, and she's like, okay, well. And so she like fixes the story. She's like, no, come over here, girlfriend. This is his girlfriend that he loves, so you need to just chill because he has a girlfriend. And then like words pop up on the screen, and they're like, do you wish to publish this chapter? And she's like, yes, I do. And she clicks it, and like, boom. And then she wakes up, and no, it didn't fix anything. It's just her fan fiction. She's like, no. And then there's like a truck of doom comes, and she leaps into the show, and she saves him from the truck of doom. But she gets completely mangled because she gets hit by, and the thing pops up and it's like, do you want to save this chapter? She's like, no, I do not. Let's try that again. Like, and so then by about episode 3 or 4, it actually does seem to be affecting his actual work as well. And like, he's like sitting down and he's like, I did not write this chapter. What is going on? Who has like got into my system? And then he wakes up in the story, and it is like, but there was always a character in the story that played her boss in the fan fiction or the story or whatever that looks like him. So she thinks it's still just the character, but he can hear her thoughts. And so he keeps doing stuff, and she keeps like trying to be the character to get the story going in the direction she wants it to go, but he knows why she's doing stuff, so he's trying to like, it's nonsense. It's absolute nonsense, but it's so cute.
Really fun.
Like, it's just, it's ridiculously cute. And in real life, their best friends are dating, which they didn't sort of know that before. And then like your boyfriend is friends with this guy okay, that's weird. So in real life, they're spending time together. In the story, they're neighbors now, and they're spending time together.
Of course.
And like, it's just ridiculous. It's so cute and just so easy to watch. Like, it'll be like done, and I'm like, oh, we're finished that episode. Okay, start up another one. Let's go, because it's that easy and that fun. And nonsensical. And he's got a thing where like he doesn't believe in happy endings and he doesn't believe in love. So like, and she of course is the eternal sunshine of happy endings always for everyone. So, you know, she's trying to rub off on him so that he will write a happy ending for this story so that she won't be sad and get fired, you know. So it's and he's sort of like, I don't know what it is about this girl, but I just kind of dig her nonsense. So
yeah, I watched it in June and I really enjoyed it.
I was like, well, oh, she's going into the story, and then he's in the story. I'm like, okay, this is double isekai. Like, Natalia has got to be watching this. Like,
it's like basically sort of like imagine if W had very low stakes.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, it's fun.
There's the kid who plays Zhu Yang in Untamed is in it. He plays the friend or whatever. He's nice. He's just a dude. He's still, you know, he's there. I'm just like, I recognize this guy. What do I recognize? Oh, it's him. Like, he's oddly not as, like, he's a fine-looking young man, but he's not quite as attractive when he's just being nice and normal and not, you know, psychotic murdering.
Yeah.
But,
very, very timely for one of the plot points in the show. He's just a dude. Hit him with your car. For the eternally on TikTok of this.
Yeah. So to ship someone. It's on.
Is that on IG?
Yeah, and apparently Mickey as well. But I'm watching it on IG.
Oh, cool.
So
I watched it on IG too.
IG lets me download my episodes. So.
Yep. IG lets you
there you go.
Listen, the download rules on IG are a little wild. Like literally, like I got like the Viki like Plus just for download, and then immediately switched it back to just regular when I realized you could only download for 2 days. I was like,
that's
get out
stupid.
of here.
Like at that point,
not worth the extra $2 a month. Get out of here.
Well. And maybe for somebody who they have a day, like they would always like download the night before in their day job, they can watch it. You know, like for certain people that probably works. But if you're going on trips, weeks-long trips like Natalia, does not work for you whatsoever. No.
Not at all.
Good old Vicky.
But I've had stuff. Listen, I've had. Don't judge me for this. I've had Cutie Pie downloaded on IG for months, and it never stops me.
You have it downloaded? I would never have guessed.
Shocker.
In my defense, I also have Until We Meet Again downloaded. You know, what if we have another tornado and I just have good vibes? Stuff, okay,
right?
Listen,
that's true, I guess. So for me, I'm really not watching much of anything else except for Stray Kids content, and there's a lot of that. But I did remember when Sky was talking that I did watch one other thing. She like jogged my memory. Because I think I talked about it. I decided to get a Crunchyroll subscription.
Oh yeah.
Nice.
And there was one day I was like, you know what? I should really use this Crunchyroll subscription. And I then went on and looked through things and then decided to pick this little anime called Revolutionary Girl Utena, which I've watched about 5 times and own the fan subs on the VHS and a rose ring and have, known about it since I was in high school. So I'm really using that Crunchyroll subscription to the extreme. But I rewatched Utena. It was as great as it ever is. It's a very weird show. I don't know how I'm going to explain it properly, but it is about a girl who, when she was younger, was saved by a prince, and then she decided that she wants to become a prince. So you meet her when she's in high school.
It sounds like the Library Wars.
Yeah,
same.
It's a very common anime thing, but so she goes to her school. She's in high school and she's going to this like boarding school, and she's a prince. She even wears a boy's uniform, and all the girls absolutely love her. Like they're fawning over her. She's like totally the
Love
prince. Like she. I mean, she's still like. It's not even like she's like fully going like full like looking like a boy. Like she's just got like she decides to be like a prince and wear the clothing, but like everything else about her is like very girlish. Like that's what's like really great about it. And she meets this girl who's kind of being abused by her boyfriend, and by kind of a lot. It's a weird show. I'm like just warning you now. And that takes her down a journey into a group of kids who are part of the student council, who also have tournaments, fencing tournaments, and sword fights. And there's a Rose Bride, and whoever wins these tournaments gets the Rose Bride, and shenanigans and weirdness abound. Like it's and there's also like just like regular school stuff because they're still going to school. It is wild. It is crazy. There's a lot of like messiness in the guy characters, but it's also like super gay as well. Like it's got everything. Like so, it's got if you are like really wanting like a mid 90s or late 90s anime to watch, that's the one. It's super popular. Like almost everybody who watches anime, like especially for a period of time, knows what it is. But I had fun rewatching it again, even though it really hasn't been that long since I like rewatched it too. So I really shouldn't.
Is it pretty long?
Not really. I think it's like 20 something episodes, and they're less than a half an hour.
Yeah.
I'm sure you can find it on multiple sites too, since it's such an old drama or anime. I'll just warn you, it's really crazy. But it's an anime. Like, I mean, this is what animes are. Yeah. Like, it's just
it's an anime from
literally
the 90s.
Literally, when they're like doing their like fights, the Rose Bride houses the sword in her, so like they pull out the sword from her. Yeah. Which is so funny because like I remember very clearly, like my friend who got me into anime, she used to on the bus like tell me all the plots of animes, and that's all she did. And Utena was one of the ones she like would explain to me, and so she like described this like whole scene. I'm like, what are you talking about? You want me to watch this? And then like 3 months later it was like hooked. So it worked out. But it is like legitimately one of my top animes of all time.
Is it pretty dark?
Yes and no. So like when it's dark, it's dark. And it's got a lot of like weirdness and like metaphorically it's got a lot of stuff. And then when it is like campy and funny, it's like normal anime campy and funny, and that like kind of lives with like the kind of more school type things, or like the guy Toga, he's the class president, which is like the Utena kind of like starts to fall for him type deal. He has this sister, and the sister is absolutely annoying, and she hates oh gosh, I can't remember anybody's names, but she hates the one girl, and like who's the best friend of Utena, and like it's just like shenanigans abound, and she's like very much like a stuck-up princess, like because her brother's the school president. She doesn't know that he's also part of this weird underground secret magic thing, and so,
classic capers.
Yeah, it's it's a classic. I mean, like at every boarding school in the world, this happens. So it's true.
It's totally normal boarding school stuff.
Totally. But watch it. It's fun.
I think it sounds fun.
Yeah.
I love like 90s, early 2000s anime.
It's so much fun.
Like if you thought like some K-dramas have tonal dissonance,
it's really not.
No.
And like I don't think people like really understand when I say that. Like when I first watched Boys Over Flowers, I just got it immediately because of those animes. Like Boys Over Flowers is like pale comparison to what like 90s animes were. Like they were just very crazy. And then there's a movie too that's even crazier. Yeah.
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 Good times. Good times.
Yeah.
So normally I will pick dramas that I have fully finished. But when I tell you there's a currently aired drama, it's almost done. So I'm not even like, I think it's literally done like 2 days after this episode comes out. That has, I can't explain why, but it has captured me. And that is the accounting thriller Numbers, which is about, literally, it's all about accountants. Like, you're thinking, oh, like maybe there's like one account. No, everyone's an accountant.
I
don't know if I could.
I
I have lived too much in the accounting world for that to
like,
be.
So it's gonna be like really like very personal. Like you'll like instantly get what's going on.
Like
in this high stakes numbers drama.
My best guy friend is an accountant, and I was like, oh, Nick, you'd be real proud of me. I just started a show about accountants, but I don't think it's really relevant to what you do because you're not an unsavory criminal accountant. So basically the basic plot, it starts with this kid who just is like found wandering on the side of the road, and nobody knows where he's come from. There's no kids like his age that have been sent missing, and he doesn't remember anything about himself. So he's like sort of adopted by this like old lady who runs a restaurant around this construction site, and is like also semi-adopted by the guy who found him, who like runs this construction company, who's just like this kindly older man who has a daughter of his own and is like, oh, what's one more mouth to feed? Like, it's all good. Don't worry about it. And so he grows up and he's like a bit of a, you know, he's very passionate about justice, to the point where if he sees injustice, he's a punch you in the face about it type of guy. And of course, this is played by Kim Young-soo, who, if you're unfamiliar who that is, he's also known as L from Infinite. Like, you know,
it's coming back very soon.
Coming back very soon. Very soon. So then, when he's like just about to graduate high school, he wants to be a cop because they always want to be cops.
Yeah,
I don't
really
know why.
do.
Like, what? I suppose it's like a very steady job that's hard to get fired from. So like, I get it on that end. There's like some shenaniganery in accounting that causes his adoptive father's construction company to go bankrupt and get sold off piecemeal, essentially. And his adoptive father commits suicide over it. This is all in the first episode. And so then, but he's like looking at, he's trying to find an accountant that will look at their numbers and explain to him why this happened, because it doesn't make sense to him, because like they had this new technology that they were using. They were going to be the first people doing this modular house building or whatever, but all the accountants are like, oh, like, no, we're not going to bother. Like the accounting firm that did it was like the best accounting firm like in the country, and like we don't want any of this smoke. So he's like, you know what, I'm going to become an accountant and I'm going to get to the bottom of this.
So revenge accounting.
A revenge accounting. But so meanwhile, like, he's blamed the other main character played by Choi Jin-hyuk, because Choi Jin-hyuk was the one who showed up with the accounting papers, and like, but he may not be all that he seems. He's also like, he's the son.
Is he ever? Like, the roles he always plays is always like, what is he up to?
And it's like, he's the son of like the VP of like the acquisitions department at this like a big accounting firm. So anyway, he like can't afford university, but you don't actually need a university degree to become a CPA, like to become an accountant. You just got to pass the test. So he doesn't have a high school diploma, so he gets his GED, and then he studies for like a couple years, and like he's like a smart kid, so he just fucking blows through these, you know, accounting tests and things, and then gets hired at this, you know, prestigious accounting firm, which has the perfect like intro where he's walking in. You know, he's a handsome dude. He has his suit. He looks like everyone else. And all these new hires are there. And they're like, oh, did you hear? Like, they just hired some high school graduate. Like, they didn't even go to university. Like, I can't believe, like, they hired some high school graduate. How absurd is this? Blah, blah, blah. Like, I went to, you know, Seoul National University, and I got hired the same as, like, this blind hiring through a test of this high school graduate. And, like, he's like, yeah, I did hear that. I did hear that they hired a high school graduate, because that's me. So everyone hates him. Like, everyone hates him, and no one wants to give him a chance. So then he starts, you know, doing odd jobs around the whatever, and ingratiating himself and becoming indispensable, and then getting access to all of the files.
All of the numbers.
All of the files. And you know, it's just, it sort of goes on from there. There's, like, surprisingly entertaining for a show that has more than one montage of people frantically looking through sheets of paper filled with, like, surprisingly intriguing. But I just gotta point out that he has, like, a murder board in his bedroom, and I just have to point that out because I literally turned to my husband and said, we need this murder board. So it's like, it goes in, and he has, like, the murder board, it's just like a wire one that he has, like, the people stuck to, and then he's walking, like, down this hallway, it's like in his bedroom, and then he reaches and pulls out a pocket door murder board. It's another murder board that he's flying out from the wall, and I was like, he's got multiple murder boards.
So is it a different, like, is it the same stuff, or is it like
new people, like, new different, like, he's got all sorts, like,
he needed that second like, screen.
He's got, like, 3 of them, like, tiered murder boards where he's, like, getting knowledge on everyone who works at this company. Anyway, it's really fun. Like, it's more fun than I thought a drama about corrupt accounting could be. I'm having a really good time with it. I'm, like, halfway through now, and I waited to start it. Like, listen, the cast alone, I was like, I'm gonna watch this drama. You know what I mean? Like, I like Elle. I like Choi Jin-hyuk. Like, it also has playing the main bad guy so far. Listen, I'm only 6 episodes in. There could be another boss-level bad dude. But it's Choi Min-soo, who played, like, the gangster in Lawless Lawyer. Mm-hmm. Like, so, like, you know, as soon as I saw him, I'm like, the bad guy. Okay. I got it. We're on the level. But I was gonna watch it anyway, but I was holding off because I watch too many currently airing and then I suffer. But since there's only 1 week left, I literally started it last night, and I'm 6 episodes deep already. And I took a long nap this afternoon, so, like, this is impressive. I can't look away. After we finish recording, I'm gonna go watch episode 7. Like, Anyway, I'm really enjoying it. That's on Viki and Kokowa. So it's on Kokowa, but it's on Viki with the plus, which is basically just Kokowa.
So whenever he's, like, in high school and whatnot, do they have a younger version, or
is
it Elle being in high school? Okay,
it's just Elle being in high school. But, like, him in high school, like, 3 scenes, very short. Like, and they have a little kid version of him for when he was found wandering, you know. But there's a lot of stuff about, like, you know, workers getting screwed over by corporations, like, small companies getting screwed over by bigger companies, like, and, you know, people using shell corporations to do terrible things. And I'm like, my people, got it. The show is written about things I care about, but with accounting as the main impetus. So anyway, I was like, Nick, my friend Nick was an accountant. I'm like, you'll be really excited, Nick. I'm watching a show about accounting.
It's just so funny, because it's similar, like, as far as when you get to the nuts and bolts of, like, the bad shenanigans that go on. Quite often it's like, why her? It's like, okay, then what's the perspective? Lawyer perspective. What's the perspective? Accounting like, I mean, but as far as what's the issue? Shell corporations and taking advantage of smaller companies and people and, like, you know,
it's like,
the typical stuff.
Corporate malfeasance.
Yep.
Like, who's under the monster mask, Scooby-Doo? It's corporate malfeasance again. Damn it. Anyway, it's really fun. I'm really enjoying it. Hopefully it continues. Listen, it's only a 12 episode. I feel like with the way the first 6 episodes went, I don't see a world where it suddenly jumps the shark, like, from what's happened. There's not enough time for it.
You can't have, like, noble idiocy with that.
Like, there's literally not enough time for it to go too off the rails, you know? So Anyway, it also has. I got very excited because at the end of episode 4, Beihei's son showed up.
Well, that's so I mentioned her earlier.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
whenever she shows up, it's like, oh. Okay.
Oh, and I was like, I was literally like, never mind. Like, I was like, who are you playing? Spoiler alert, she's playing an accountant.
Whoa.
Yeah. Ooh. So anyway, yeah, it's on Viki and Kokwa, and I'm enjoying it. And I started it late enough that I won't be waiting too long for the last 2 episodes. So I should probably pace myself so I don't run out.
Yeah.
You know? But you know me as a person. I don't know if I have it in me mentally, you know?
Understandable.
Yeah.
So now that we've done that, we have our usual end roundup for anything that we just want to quickly mention that we are watching or have watched. So real quick, Sky, got anything?
I do. I have Romance by Romance, which the reason I was watching it was Cha-hun from In Flying. It is one of the lead characters. It is a small web drama type thing. There were 10 episodes, but 15 minutes each. So when you're including title and stuff, they're real short. I watched this in 2 sittings, pretty easy. Maybe 1, I don't remember. Is it great? No. But I watched it. And
did you have fun?
I had fun watching him be a very serious character.
That's all that matters.
It was just so funny because, very serious in suits, but the earring that he was wearing was like, here's my gauged earring with a dangly chain. I'm like, we never really visited why we were wearing. Oh, it's like, okay, you have some flair, and we're just gonna roll with that. That's fine. It was very love triangle-y, but I'm trying not to. So I'm not gonna spoil, but straight out of the gate, first episode, it starts off with him and the lead gal, which is played by Leon B. They're like breaking up. And she's being super desperate and is like, she's had all these short-term dating things and she never gets to 100 days or something. Like, it bothers her. It's not, she keeps on having really short relationships and it bugs her. And so she just begs to like, can we pretty much have a contract to where we still date for like another month or 2 until my birthday type thing, because there was a shaman shenanigan to make her want to do that too, you know, whole thing. And he like just really doesn't want to, but beg, fine, but we're gonna have rules. So then that, you know, like no physical the whole, so it was like contract relationship, but he's way over it already. So the vibes are weird vibes. She is an author of like web novels and romance ones. So and he's her boss, like editor so she'll start writing a plot and it's pretty much their plot thing. So that's awkward. So then there's her pretty much best friend dude he's the musical one. And I'm just like, Cha-hun's not the musical character. Just like, what is going? Okay, that's fine.
Sure, why not?
As far as would I have cast this differently? Yes, but okay. So you can tell where that goes, really. So you get a love triangle situation, which is the emphasis of the entire thing. Also, the third character, the main one that ever shows up, is like the main support role of everybody. He's another coworker. They all end up working together. And, but the fourth one, very support, he's the guy from Hit the Top, who was like the dancer guy who was really funny. Do you remember?
Yeah.
Like there was a friend dude and he was just really funny the whole time. He didn't really do anything plot wise, but he was just funny. That guy. That's pretty much what he did in this role too. He's kind of like hey, like kind of the one that sometimes pushes things to happen, but that's all he does. There's like really, he's happily married. There's not much to him. It's like just whatever. He moves the chess pieces a little bit. Yeah, so that's that. It was fine. I enjoyed the fact that Chahan had a role.
Yeah.
I will watch him in anything.
Yep.
Put him in something, I will be there. So there you go. And then I won't get too far into this other one that I wanted to mention, but Love Tractor, watched it, liked it. I will probably talk about it some other time on a different episode.
It's disgustingly cute.
Okay.
Short and sweet.
It was a short.
Like a cute aggression from the little farmer guy in it.
Low stakes. Ultimately,
so low.
It's a low stakes one. So
on the ground, these stakes.
But it's like, as far as knowing that it was the production, I had super high hopes. I was not let down, but like when you know it's the Semantic Air production company and you go in knowing that, you're like, ooh, what are they pulling out next? It's like, okay, this is just like the super light, easy breezy. I mean, so was Semantic Air, but for some reason Semantic Air just like hit all my buttons and like it was the color and just there's a lot going on there.
About that. Okay?
Yeah.
Something special. Yeah.
But so those were the two things I wanted to mention. Amanda?
Today I just started watching The Jungle. It's GMM TV. It's basically like F4 if they're all, in their late 20s and douchebags who hang out in a bar. Like, it's, that...
Are they rich?
Yeah. One of them...
Okay.
It's kind of funny because it's like all those guys that you recognize and you're like, yeah, okay, they're... And what I found sort of funny when it first starts up is that, like, they're introducing all the guys as, like, these, womanizers and, like, gangsters and all this stuff. And I just keep cracking up every time because I'm like, really? Okay, sure. Like, they're just not people that I picture as being bad dudes. So, like, they're really trying to sell you real hard on these guys are, like, like, Chris is a professor who will, like, accept blowies from moms for good, good grades.
Sure, I believe
really?
that.
Okay, sure, whatever. So, but it's cuter than it sounds. Like Mook's in it, and Lee Thanet plays like he's a famous like actor or whatever, and his mom's like terrible. She's basically been pimping him out and stuff, like, no, you have to be nice to the sponsors, sweetie, like, some nasty stuff going on there, and so that's why he's like, all of these guys they just one night stands, and they tell the girls, like, this is we will have sex with you and you will enjoy it because we're good at what we do, but like, no heart stuff, we're not doing that, like,
we're good at our business and our business is fun.
Basically. And I mean, Nix is in there playing a bartender, which is kind of amusing to me. And like, it's just, and Mook, it turns out Mook knows him from childhood. And so he's kind of like, wants to spend time with her because nobody knows him as him anymore. Nobody knows the real him. So it's kind of nice to spend time with somebody who like knew him before the nonsense all started. So I'm like an episode and a half in. I think there's only 2 episodes out already. So, and there's clearly going to be like each of these guys is going to, fall in love or whatever. And, get, find the right girl to get past their hard exteriors. But, it's cute. It's what it is, I started watching Low Frequency. It's a Thai boy love. It's what it is. It's just it's a story. It's like it's fine. It's just not exciting. I for my 12 for 12 challenge started Hey Pro My Mountain Girl. It's a C drama about a ski lodge that's going under. it's terrible, and I am not going to keep watching it. It's so bad. Like, it has to be all the director's fault, because I have seen this actor and stuff before, and he is good, and he is not good in this, and so I'm assuming that the actress is also good and is getting terrible direction, because like they're just breezing through stuff. Like they've got like weeks and weeks worth of plot that they pushed into 2 episodes to get the story going or whatever, but it's like the cuts are weird, everything's weird. All of a sudden it's like 3 days later and you're like, where am I? What is going on? And now Dad is in the hospital, but we haven't talked to Dad in 3 years, and now it's a thing, and like, it's nonsense, and it's bad, and it's just not enjoyable to watch because it's so bad. So that will get crossed off of my 12 for 12. I gave it a shot. I tried, and therefore, oh, and I watched the King's Avatar animated series with my son because he wanted to watch it, and so we watched that. It's cute. It's fine. If you've read any of the book and you've watched the non-animated series, then you'll probably follow it just fine. But like, I don't think we would have followed the story well at all if we hadn't already read it and watched it before, because stuff just went so fast, and like bits were missing, and the stuff they chose to focus on, you were like, really, this is the part we're gonna spend time with? Okay. And there's a lot of time in the game. Like, most of the show is in the game. So my 12-year-old loved it because that's the part he likes.
Yeah.
Like, you're spending all your time in the game and then like 3 minutes out in the world, but then like the world stuff is what's propelling the story. So you're like, I could use a little bit more of this outside stuff would be good.
Please, sir, a little more of the plot. A little more of the plot, please.
Like, the thing the 12-year-old said too, and he brought this up, was that for them spending so much time in the game world, nothing about the gaming sequences looks like gaming. So it just looks like you're watching a fantasy animated series when they're in the game. And there's no like numbers popping up or, things like it's just a fantasy. And he's like, they're in the game and that's cool, but it's not a game. Like, it would be better if it was a little bit more in a lot of ways. So, and that's on WeTV, I think, or WeTV.
Yep, I just googled it. It is.
So it's also on YouTube, but you can watch it on the 10-cent YouTube channel if you subscribe to their channel. But they only have the first 8 episodes of the 2nd season on their YouTube channel. There are 12 episodes. So if you subscribe to WeTV for a month, you can watch all 12 episodes of both seasons. So that's what we did. And supposedly there's a 3rd season coming out, but they've been saying that for a little while. So we'll see. But Vicky has it on there, like, coming soon is the 2nd season, and then they say they're going to get the 3rd season. So maybe it's actually in the works, We'll see.
We'll see.
Maybe we'll have to pay for another month of WeTV to get that. So, yeah, that's it for me.
For me,
nothing.
I mean, literally, it's been Stray Kids stuff, and there's like more Stray Kids stuff happening because I guess it's like Stay Week or whatever, so they're gonna be posting a lot of stuff. So like today, I watched they did a thing where they were like showing them in their recording studio for the like the latest album. They've been posting like vlogs from their last concert. There was a very sweet vlog that they did because Seungmin was asked to do the first pitch for a baseball team, and he got all the way out there because I think it was in Busan, but like he got all the way out there and they called off the game because of rain, and he's like a super fan, like he's so into it. And so they were able to do some like really like cute stuff, like he did like an interview with like the other 2 Seungmins on the team, so it was like the trio of them, and then they like because it was like raining on and off, so that like a couple of players got him out on the field to like throw the ball around, and they gave him some stuff. But Ian and Hyunjin were there too, and they were like so cute because they just kept on taking pictures of him, like proud parents. They're like, oh, we gotta like make sure he has a good time, and they were so sad that he didn't get to do what he wanted to do. But really, it's just all been Stray Kids and stuff, and other
That's
things
so
that I cannot talk about here. So
Yeah.
Maybe one day you'll learn.
One day we'll be able to mention all these
secrets that we can talk about later.
Yeah.
Yes. Secrets.
I gotta write them down so I remember.
Yeah, I've been kind of wondering, like, do I need to like do some journal entries or something so I don't forget this stuff?
Okay, so I have been enjoying a few things this month. I finally finished Happy Merry Ending. Accurate title, but not until that last episode. Let me tell you, I was on the edge of my seat waiting for that Happy Merry stuff to start. You know, like it was real. But luckily, it's only 8 15-minute episodes. You didn't have to wait that long for it, so don't worry about it. I watched the Thai drama on YouTube, My Gear Your Gown, which was fine. It was fine, but it did have one of the funniest parent finds out their child is gay, like the most dramatic fainting, like over the top nonsense that I literally started laughing at and put it down. It also had another earring related thing, Sky, that made me laugh, just like you did in yours, where he's looking at these earrings and he's like, oh, like I wish I could like wear this rather ugly earring of lab coat. And the guy's like, oh, let's like get your ears pierced. Which would be fine if it wasn't really clear that the actor already had multiple ear piercings in both ears. That just like he had taken his earrings out. So, but it was fine, and it was free because it's on YouTube. So you know,
let me get my ears pierced for a lab coat earring.
Yeah,
is that what I just heard you say?
You did indeed.
Okay, because I felt like I was dreaming for a second.
No, it was an earring that looked like a little doctor's lab coat.
Okay, whatever makes you happy, man.
The show was fine. I watched. I'm currently watching You're My Sky on Viki. Gay sports drama. It's fine. I don't. Gay
sports.
Like, gay sports. But like the sports are just sports, but all the people are gay. And it did have. I even think I told Sky it did. It had this scene that like it was like this. The one of the couples. It's like multiple male couples where like they have like their first kiss, but they're like in bed, but like the way it was filmed was such a weird intrusive angle that like the only way that you could have filmed this was if the cameraman was standing spread-legged, standing over them on the bed, holding the camera directly on top of them. So it took me out completely because I was just laughing so hard.
It could have been on like an arm, like one of those big extending
When I tell you, I don't think this show has the budget for that.
Okay.
And also the room it was in, you could like see
Tiny.
the ceiling. Like it wasn't big enough to have a lot of equipment in there, right? And it was such a bizarre, intrusive, like low budget porn angle that I was immediately taken out because I even like turned, because I was watching, I even turned to Matthew, I was like, honey, this angle, and he was like, that's really weird. Like, that's a bizarre way to film this, but okay. Listen, you do you, show. But it's fine. If you like basketball,
Gay basketball.
Well, it's like they're not all basketball. 2 of them play basketball. 2 of them don't really play a sport, but they're like in sports college. And 2 of them are in like track and field, and they're all messed up. Anyway, it's fine. It's fine. I watched the C-drama on Viki, Here We Meet Again, which I watched because of the 2 main actors in it. And it was exactly what you would expect it to be. It has Janice Wu and Vin Jiang in it. And basically, like, she's the granddaughter of this, you know, CEO, and she's also a game streamer. And she doesn't want to work for her grandfather's company, but he's like, if you don't work for my company, I'm gonna send you on so many blind dates with like douchey rich guys that you're gonna like lose your mind. She's like, well, I don't want to get married. So fine, I'll go work at like our failing R&D department, even though I don't really know that much about R&D, but I'm a really good people person, for a year. And then you have to like promise to like never bring up straight men to me ever again. But then, oh no,
Someone's
the guy,
hot.
No, it's not only is he hot, because let's be honest, Vin Chang is a very good looking man. Oh no, it was the guy that she had a crush on.
Oh no!
Like last in high school and the beginning of university.
Oh no, are they friends online too?
Oh my god, they might have been.
Oh no!
He might have been the one who got her into gaming. She didn't
Oh
no! Anyway, it was exactly what you would expect the show to be. Like when you watch like the first 3 episodes, you're like, okay, I get where this is headed, you know? It was fun. I enjoyed it. I also watched the J-drama, The Third Finger Offered to a King.
Oh yeah, that's like, on my list.
Yeah. It's in like a weird space that's like halfway between wholesome and coffee vanilla. Like they're both very deeply flawed people, but it is a contract drama.
Oh, I remember it because
of
course TikTok was like telling me about it, and I remember very clearly going, "This seems like a Natalia show," and I think I went around and was like, "You should watch this."
And not only that, it stars the guy who played Edward Elric in the live action Alchemist. So I was like, all right, say less. Like, I'll watch it.
Is it in Places? Is that where that is?
Yeah,
Places.
I watched it on the cloud. Don't worry about it. Don't be asking me.
I was just curious.
Listen, what are you
watching?
I wanted to go maybe watch it. I figured I would ask.
I'm kidding. Okay. And finally, for what I'm currently watching Mr. Bad on iQIYI, but it's also on Viki. Very cute, sort of comes out of her fan fiction to the real world, and he's a bit of a dick, but he's hot. I started, you know, the classic. I started Jun and Jun. I don't know why I started it. It's not that it's not good, but it's just started last week. So like,
so like,
girl,
and you're thinking she wouldn't have started another drama that just started last week and only updates once a week, would she? That would be like an insane move for someone who loves binging things. But yeah, it would be. But I did start Wedding Plan on iQIYI, which did also start last week, and that one's actually really fun. And
so now
I kind of like, now I'm screwed because I'm enjoying it. Where the basic plot is there's a wedding planner, and he planned one hell of a gay wedding. And by the way, this is in the same universe as Love in the Air. So it was literally, he planned a superb gay wedding for one of the couples in Love in the Air, and then one of the wedding guests is like, "Damn, like this wedding planner is hot." Meanwhile, it turns out that this guy who got from, you know, the dude got the number of this wedding planner, is getting married to his lesbian best friend. So it's a sham marriage. And so the lesbian best friend is like, you gonna hit on that wedding planner? Like, you gonna get with that wedding planner? So like, it's fun where it's like, you would think it's about like this. So the wedding planner is all confused, thinking that this guy's a total skeeve bag because he's getting married, but he keeps, you know. But you know, it's not really an infidelity drama because like you have to be in an actual relationship for it to count as infidelity, you know, not like a sham marriage to get your parents off your back type thing. Anyways, this one's really fun, and you know, there's other things, but you know,
Places.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, places, things. So that's basically what I've been watching. And that's basically what we've been watching.
Mm-hmm.
So thank you for coming out and listening to our what we're watching episode. Which, like, I don't know why, but y'all out there love listening to us talk about what we're watching. There are like best performing episodes. Y'all love it. I don't know. It's fine. We'll love to bring it to you. We love to bring it to you. We'll be back next week with another banger of an episode, I'm sure. You can find all of our episodes wherever podcasts can be found. They're also on YouTube. That's right. If you have YouTube Music, you can just listen to us instead of music.
Sounds fun to me.
Good fun. And then we also do live streams pretty near every week over there on the old YouTube. Sometimes sometimes we can't, but pretty near every week. You can also find all of this with links and time codes on our website, certifiednoonas.com, our home web. If you want to support this podcast, you can go to patreon.com/certifiednoonas to become part of the Certified Fan family. They're a family on the web. They're amazing. We love them. They keep the lights on. They keep everything going, and they may get some little extra things here and there. They get to come to special movie night every month, little extra episodes just for them. And, we're on all the social medias, literally. If there's a social media that's not unsavory, we're on.
Well, we're not. Yeah, lots of them.
We're on lots of social media.
There's a lot of stuff that's popped up.
Social media. So, listen, we never know what'll exist this week, next week, but we're where we're at. You can find us. It's always at Certified Noonas. That's how you locate us. That's basically it. Anyway, we hope you have a fantastic week. Maybe. Oh, and obviously, we have our own Discord server that you can come and talk K-pop, K-dramas, J-dramas, C-dramas, T-dramas, Thai dramas, Q-pop, hip-hop, whatever. We got it all. Cool people only, as in not bad people, not disrespectful, mean people. They get the boot. We've never had to boot anyone. I always say this is so we've got some unsavory elements that we've ejected, but no, everyone who joins has been really nice. So whatever. Anyway, so thank you for hanging out with us. We will see you next time. And as always, wear masks, wash your hands, and keep enjoying Asian entertainment. Goodbye.
Bye.